Hello all, welcome to DeeP Padhai. Today what we are going to do is that we are going to do a live lecture series. Basically this will consist of two small lectures, two live lectures, one can also consider as a podcast regarding deep learning. Okay, so first thing is you need to understand what is deep learning. You need to understand what are the different aspects of artificial intelligence and data science. You need to understand how exactly a neural network is, what exactly neural network is like, and what are the types of neural network. In the next part 2 of the same series, lecture series, and basically this is 2 video series, right? So in the next part will be the second video, and that video what we'll be doing? We will be doing regarding the technologies, like the software frameworks, like the language used, and etc. So in that case we will be using seeing the tools, okay, and the language etc. used, whereas in this one we will be making our understanding very clearly. We will be understanding all the concepts clearly. So first thing is, what exactly is AI versus DS versus deep learning versus machine learning. Okay, so first of all we will try to understand what exactly is all this. So as we all know, to understand all these concepts, what we need to do is we just need to utilize some concepts of set theory. Like say this is a universal set, and this universal set is a set of artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence. Okay, so this is basically artificial intelligence, and say we have two different applications regarding artificial intelligence. The first one is a robocar, and second is say Amazon. So what I have done is I have taken two different examples. One belongs to the web and mobile world, okay, and the second belongs to the app and the web world. I'm sorry, the one of them belongs to embedded world or hardware world, I can say, and the other one belongs to the app or the mobile world, like Amazon. So many of you will be having different ideas regarding artificial intelligence, like as you see in movies. Okay, so first thing I will like to clear that it is basically not realistic, and that is actually science fiction. It is called fiction because it is fiction. First thing, and fiction is a lot of time away. The second thing is that they are basically general purpose artificial intelligences. What we are here to focus on is narrow AI, that is the AI that is actually used in the market. Like in case of a self-driving car, it doesn't need to do what you are shown in Iron Man movies. Similar way, in case of Amazon, you are not going to see what is shown in the Matrix. So these are basically science fiction movies, and this is the real AI applications that is in the present, that is the robocars or say Amazon. So this is artificial intelligence, this is robocar, this is Amazon. So these are applications of AI. Now the question is, how do we implement them, and what exact technologies, methodologies and frameworks that we are going to use. So the first one is that we have a set, and inside it we have another set. This is basically a set called the set of deep learning, and over it is the superset of machine learning. So basically deep learning is a subset of machine learning, and together they are subsets of artificial intelligence. So what exactly is deep learning? As we are going to see in the next slide, that it is basically deep learning is on the next page. That deep learning is basically neural networks. Okay, so neural networks are a part of machine learning methodologies, and machine learning methodologies also consist of different other concepts, which we are going to discuss later in the shorts, and that are like k-means clustering, vector support machines, etc., etc. But here what we need to focus is on the concept called deep learning, and deep learning is a subset of machine learning, as we can see. And the next concept is data science. Okay, this is data science. So this is DS. Now what exactly is DS? Say we have these two examples like robocars and Amazon. We can call it AI. But actually if we see, they are examples of data science. Why? Because in this case we require knowledge such as the knowledge of hardware, embedded, machine manufacturing, okay, machines. Basically we can say manufacturing, embedded, robo world. And in this we need examples of web. And in case of data science also, we need to understand the same concept, that we are using different things like cameras, like machines. Okay, so like where we need to work with camera, we need to work with OpenCV. Like you need to work with camera. Camera, we need libraries such as OpenCV, that is computer vision libraries. OpenCV. Also, in case of data science, we use other examples such as natural language processing. Natural language processing, NLP. Now in case of NLP, if we consider example of NLP, in case of Amazon also NLP is there, because only then there are tags and all the other words such as adverbs, verbs, all everything is present. There is verb, there is adverb, there are different type of concepts. So in case of NLP, we have natural language. So what is example of natural language concepts? Verbs. Okay. So there is something called verb, there is something called adverb. Okay, there is something called noun. So as you know that you have read all of this basically where in your schools. Okay, and some of you might even be learning them now, because learning is a never ending process. So people would even now be learning natural languages. So basically in natural languages there are concepts such as verb, adverb, nouns, etc. So these are all applied together to implement and bring about an AI solution. So that is what is basically data science. Data science means the practical aspects of AI. That is using the methods of deep learning and machine learning along with deep learning and machine learning, the practical aspects, right? So this is data science. That is, it is encompassing the techniques of data learning, that is encompassing the techniques of machine learning, along with along with the AI techniques and along with these other concepts that we just discussed, like camera, hardware, NLP, etc., etc. So now that we are able to realize these applications, so in the next part we will see the very same thing. So as we just discussed above, now moving to the aspect of this was basically getting understanding of AI versus DS versus DLI versus ML. I believe now it would be very clear to you. Now as we just discussed that basically deep learning, which we referenced earlier as DL in the diagrams and figures above. So this is your deep learning, right? So this is your deep learning. Okay. So this is your deep learning. So in case of deep learning, what do we have as a concept called neural network? We have a concept called neural network. Neural network. What is neural network? It is designed to mimic a human brain. Human brain. Human brain. Human brain. So this is basically neural network which is designed to mimic a human brain, and this is the most efficient. Okay. So you need to understand this one thing, that of all ML methodologies, this one is the most efficient. Most efficient. Say more than 90%. So one can say that the models that we create, the most efficient models of more than 90% models are deep learning models, are the deep learning neural network based models. So that is why deep learning is so interesting and important, because this is the most efficient of all machine learning methodologies. Now if we want to say consider the types of neural network. There is something called ANN. That is your artificial neural network. Second is your CNN. That is convolutional neural network. Then there is something called RNN. Sorry for the mistake. RNN, that is a recurrent neural network, and you have say something called LSTM. LSTM, long chain thought memory, and there is say sequence to sequence models. Sequence to sequence models. Okay, sequence to sequence models. And say there are transformers. These are not the electrical transformers for power utilization. Okay, so this is just a joke. Basically, this is very much used in NLP, natural language processing. We use transformers very much. So that is the reason how you transform basically between different languages and verbs, etc. So these are all different type of neural networks examples. So ANN, RNN, CNN, LSTM, sequence to sequence models. Okay, LSTM models, sequence to sequential models. So transformers are there. So there are different types of NN. So this is the first part of the two small lecture series, video lecture series, and in this we just discussed what exactly is how you base the understanding of AI versus DS versus DL versus ML, and this is the universal set and how there are different concepts such as this, and what exactly is an example, a real world example, not science fiction. I mean, not in the movies, not in the novels, fantasy stuff, but real life examples of AI, and how there is a process called data science, which is very important as it comprises other different domains as well. Then there is the main two concepts of AI, that is machine learning and deep learning. Deep learning is the neural network part, and we consider robocars, that is hardware, and then there is Amazon, which is basically the web app. Along with that, then we have something called deep learning. In deep learning, we have something called neural network, which depicts a human brain. It is the most efficient machine learning model, and mostly they are the most efficient machine learning methodologies, and they are most efficient with more than 90% accuracy of prediction and forecasting. Whereas there are different types of NN, such as artificial neural network, recurrent neural network, CNN, that is concurrent neural network, that is LSTM, long shunt, taut memory, sequential to sequential model, transformers, etc. So what we will be doing, we will be doing further lectures and shorts regarding these very same in a short duration of time. So I would like to wind up the first lecture part, and now in the second lecture what I am going to present to you is the different frameworks of neural networks. Okay, different frameworks, and what are the different frameworks, and what is the programming language, what is the technology to be implemented, to be used, examples of data set, okay, examples of a fully developed model, so that we understand the implementation. Okay, the example is YOLO, you only learn once. So we are going to do that all in the next part. So for the till then we take just a small break, and after that we are coming back.